I remember we were just kids, lost in the city of you. I remember I was feeling you, and telling what we get into, maybe something physical. Wait, now that was spiritual. Remember I would visit you. We would take shots, blow hook off the patio. Conversations made a little tighter than the blunts I was passing you. Then we hit a live or two, you would drop me off in the city. I ain't have a car, but you knew that the drive was up in me. Then we hit the park at the dark, just to spark out the windows. Pretending you were good at pretending that I ain't had a women. You were in the books, now I focus on the mending. Days like this, I wish that I could mend it. We were just
Queen.
Hey, queen.
What are we listening to on this 50th episode of The Living Room?
Come on, we turning the Big 5-0, and today we're turning the Big 5-0 with XBrodie, and that is Just Kids off of Where Love Lies, which actually, when I was getting dressed this morning, I started to put that on, but it didn't match my shoes. He had gave us a t-shirt for his Where Love Lies album. Yeah, that was Just Kids. Hope you guys like that and rock with it. Make sure you go download,
I know that's
stream.
right.
Always when
Please
you hear
do.
it, take the time if you're, not driving, because don't do it if you're driving.
Right.
But take the
Please
time,
don't.
go send some love to XBrodie. Let him know what you think of the track. Let him know what else you want to hear, Ask him what the fuck his lyrics was talking about. Do whatever you want, just go show love and let him know that you heard things.
I know that's right. I'm over here trying to sneak this snack. Can you hear that?
Wow, after you just said I'm going to put my snack down so people can hear it.
I was putting it down so I could do our clappy thing. Y'all don't know, but we sync.
I just imagined that video of Russell Westbrook sneaking a snack at whatever fucking game he was at. And he was hiding his head behind the basket, the headboard. You don't know what I'm talking about.
I ain't never seen that video.
Basically, it went viral, and people were like, when everything happened with Chick-fil-A, people were like, this is me. And they were like sneaking and eating Chick-fil-A type shit. I was like, y'all are fools on this here internet. That's
because of the homophobia?
Yeah, I don't even know what they said or did, to be honest. It was something about like one of the owners or something said that, he didn't believe God loved the gays or some shit. Some bullshit.
Chick-fil-A got a hold on niggas.
Yeah, it has a hold on some niggas. Some niggas we know, but it don't have a hold on me because your girl don't eat chicken. So
yeah, and I know. I mean, I understand why, but because that food be good.
I think I finally started liking it when they finally started putting some salt on their fries. But before that, they could have gone to hell for all I cared.
They fries are trash.
They were so trash. I think they're better now, but they were definitely basura.
I don't like waffle fries in general because I always get the butt.
And you get the butt of the potato, and it's always doing too much. Like, why is there a ladder of potato in my mouth? It's like a ladder in my mouth.
Yo, this is what I be talking about when I be saying you should do stand-up comedy, because I will never forget y'all a story time real quick.
Oh God,
we was on the bus at ECU.
Oh God,
and Aisha had everybody on the bus cracking up about. First of all,
I don't even know.
I am hella peeking over here on my audio. Let me bring it on down a little bit, child. Sorry, y'all. I'm busting y'all eardrums. We was on the bus, and Aisha goes out of nowhere, I wonder where homeless people get their Sharpies from.
That was not out of nowhere. I have been perplexed about that since I was a teeny tot, because Sharpies are expensive.
And this is exactly what she said on the bus, y'all. Not much has changed in all these years.
They are a pricey writing tool, okay? Because I didn't even hardly ever had Sharpies. My mama gave me them off-brand ones from the Dollar Tree.
And that's the thing, because I'm not saying what you be saying is not irrational. It's quite indeed rational. But what I'm saying is that it be stuff that I don't think about, right? Like waffle fries are absolutely a ladder in your mouth. Mm-hmm. But I never thought about it like that until right now. Just like the Sharpie shit. I've been seeing homeless people with Sharpies my entire life, and not until that moment on the bus had I ever thought to myself, where are they getting these Sharpies from? Mm-hmm. So you're an icon. And the girls may not be aware of that quite yet, but I'm aware. Okay?
You know, I am the looks of a podcast, if that tells you anything about who I am.
Aisha has been blowing my mind since forever, and I'm thankful for that. So, wow. I'm just happy to be here. You know what I'm saying? I'm just happy to be sharing this space with you in your world. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Anyway, I know you had an icebreaker for us. So
damn, why you do that?
Yeah. Well, I thought you thought of something. I'm sorry you didn't.
I did. Okay. So you know what? I'm gonna pose this as a statement.
Okay.
This is just a PSA. PS motherfucking A. You know how people learn things, right? Through a panini press. You learn things about other people, right? Some people didn't know it was, hygienic to wash your legs. And this is not even trying to be funny. Some people genuinely didn't know that. They probably thought the soap running down your legs is good enough. Didn't think to, scrub the skin on their legs.
I'm sorry, wait. Were you going to ask me if I...
No. I'm just saying people learn things at different times. And,
Absolutely.
if you're not taught something, you don't know. And who the fuck can fault you if you're not taught? Because I just had a conversation with a grown person the other day. And it came out because I was looking for some new sheets. And, when you become an adult, you start spending more money on things because you realize as an adult, I got away with shit when I was a youngin'. Like, I got away with a cheap mattress when I was a child. But I'm an old lady now, and now I need something to support my back.
That's right.
So now I need a better mattress, right? So you learn to spend more money on things as you get older. I wanted some new sheets. The sheets I wanted were like $200. Whole time, I'm a TJ Maxx girl, so I go there and get my king size sheets for like $40-$50, and call it a day. The sheets I wanted were like $200. I was like, damn, do I really want to spend $200 on some sheets, nigga?
You should Kardashian over here.
Right, you see me. But I was like, it's something that you use every day. It's like spending good money on running shoes. Yeah, you can get some cheap shoes from Marshalls, but if you're going to use something every day and it's on the foundation of your body, it should be well spent. So anyway, absolutely. I'm reading these reviews about these sheets, and this young lady, a Karen, because I seen the picture, made a review that was like, everybody's like, oh my God, it's long strand bamboo material. I don't even know what the fuck that means, but apparently that's a good quality sheet. And people are like, this is so great. It's cooling, so you don't get all hot in your bed. It's soft. Nice. I've washed it 16 times. It has not shrunk. Woo. But this when I look at reviews, I always look at the bad ones because I'm like, okay, well, what's the worst that can happen? And then I'll look at the better ones, or the average of them, whatever. So this bad review was a Karen with lots of photos, not of the sheets, no, of her face. And her review was saying that, oh my God, this is going to warn y'all, when you get these sheets, wash them. Because I got them out, made my bed, and slept on them, and now I have a rash all over my whole body. And I was like, well, goddamn, Karen, why you didn't wash your sheets before you put them on the bed? Ain't no telling who done touched them and what factories they've been through with rat shit and everything else. And so I was explaining to a person that why the fuck wouldn't somebody wash their sheets when they, got them? Why would you just take them out the pack and put them on the bed? And I was like, now she done woke up with a rash all over her face from her new pillowcase because she did not wash her stuff. And I was like, that would be equivalent to not washing your drawers before you put them on your coochie lips. That would be silly. And the person responded, oh, I don't do that. And so this PSA is to say, when you learn, and when you know better, you do better. Wash your drawers before you put them on your booty lips and your rectums, okay?
So the question you wanted to ask me was, do I wash things before I put them on my body in general, or was it about underwear in particular?
It was literally about underwear. Because when I heard that, I was like, have you not seen, like, on Twitter when girls go viral, like, oh, I was thinking about buying these. They're like in a Victoria's Secret dressing room trying on thongs. Something, yeah, you guys think these are cute? Help me decide which ones I'm getting. I was like, which ones? Which ones you getting? You're getting all of them. It's like when they try on bikinis and stuff. I'm like, which ones you getting? No, it's yours now. You're trying it on for the fuck of it, but it's yours now. You own it. Go to the front of the store and purchase it. It's yours now.
Okay, but wait. Playing devil's advocate for a friend of mine. Not me. A friend of mine. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so first of all, no, I do not. And now, but I will say I didn't know that was something you were supposed to do. I was never taught that, like you just said, right? Like, I think that we typically have brought things into our house and not wash. Like, I don't remember washing bath cloths. I could be wrong. Excuse me. But now I'd be like after hearing stories like this, because now for a minute I've been like, oh, you know what? Like, for instance, I bought, like, I think when we went to New Orleans, I think I bought 2 new sets of bath cloths, and I was like, hey, Mama, can you make sure when we do the clothes, we throw these in there? Because, like I said, that's not her ministry. So with that being said, I just recently learned that. So when you said it just now, I will say, like I said, this is why I'm playing devil's advocate. If you buy underwear that's in the box, I bought a box drawers. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about? From Target. They're my new favorite drawers, the ones from Target. Mm-hmm. Then the only hands that have been on those, right, are the sewers. And, because, you know, part of the package would be closed up anyway. So about half of your ass going to be rashed
But you know
up.
what I hear? I hear sweatshop.
Oh.
Where was these drawers made? A sweatshop with rats and
No, you absolutely right. So don't get me
people.
wrong. Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's definitely people's hands have been on them. And I guess I'm saying, like, in my head, I was like, oh, I don't need to do that because it's been in a box. Whereas how you were saying with those sheets, people are opening those up. People are not open. You can if you go to Target and somebody to open up one of them boxes, you would absolutely know their underwear gonna look, because you know we ain't gonna take our time to refold it back, right? Because I don't even know how the fuck they be getting them underwear and they're all crispy like that in the first place.
They do.
But
they definitely
yeah, you know what I'm saying. But now I'd be like, oh, you gotta wash them before you.
Yeah, but I thought about it because I was like, if this girl woke up with rashes like on her whole body because she was allergic to something that was in the factory, could have been dust, right? Could have been some dust mites for all we know.
Yep.
But she woke up with a rash on her whole body because, of course, her sheets, so her face and head is all over it. Her neck, her back, her legs, everything is covered in rash. And immediately I thought, well, do you not wash your drawers? Because then I was like, well, what happens when you wake up with a rash throughout your whole pelvis? Then what? Because how you going to explain that to your partner? How you going to explain to your sexual partner where this rash all over everything came from?
Absolutely. So it's definitely a learning lesson for me. Like I said, I've learned it now. Like, this isn't my first time I've been like, oh yeah, let me start. Like, I remember being like, you know, and I think it was probably you because, you know, I think out of everybody I know, you are definitely the cleanest. Like, I'll be like, hey, Aisha, what you doing cleaning? Every day, y'all. Every day. Every single day. So with that being said, that was lessons that I learned from you because it, like I said, you know, it really is crazy the things that we just aren't taught, right? Like, even like, you know, just another thing that Aisha did differently from me when we used to live together in college. She's not someone that runs a sink full of dishwater. She like washes the dishes with the water running. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what is this? You know, like, and I was like, you know, I'm watching the whole, and I remember the only reason why I stopped was because I don't know if you said anything about it. Like, I don't know if you blatantly were like, hey, could you, washing dishes like this feels like sitting in a, like, I don't know if you said it just like that. Or if
I'm
like,
sure
hey,
I did because that's how I feel about it. So I'm sure that's how I said
and
it.
so I was like, I think at the time I made that change because I didn't want to make you feel uncomfortable because of course we're all in one house sharing dishes and things like that. But that's how I do it now. But like, you know, there are just things that like we really just do what our parents did. And unless somebody says something to you about it, you might go your whole life and never switch up. So I could absolutely see somebody just, because that's something, again, I don't think I ever would have thought about. Like, oh, they're in a pack. Nobody's had their hands on them, but people really do. So yes, y'all, moral of the story, we all need to be washing the things that we bring into our house, which is crazy that you say that though, because for instance, I bought some bowls. This is the last time I say, I know we got to move on. I bought some meal prep bowls a couple weeks ago and I immediately washed them when I came into the house. Right. So I'm like, why in my head? And again, that's not something that I like was taught. So I'm like, why in my head didn't I think I need to wash these sheets or these underwear or whatever, right? Before I use it on my body. So yeah, it's interesting, but y'all,
it's
please,
just you are where you are when you learn what you do, because somebody's gonna go their whole life. Somebody's grandma gonna look at you and be like, I ain't never washed a sheet in my life, and did I die? No.
Exactly.
Which is arguable, because you're on your way, Granny. Let's be real. Every day we live, we're dying. But with that being said, I'm like, yeah, people just go off the habits of their household. So it's kind of like, I don't really judge nobody off the habits of their household, because I can't say that my household that I was brought up in was like a clean type of household. That's just something that was innate in me, that was obsessed with cleaning. Like at 4 years old, like I had folded up my panties. You know how small children panties are. Like I had folded up my panties and my socks that shared a drawer, and I would separate them so they didn't even touch. Like, I was like that kind of a weirdo. I would change up my space often. I would open my windows and clean out the tracks of my windows. Nobody taught me that stuff. That was just stuff that I did innately. But again, most people are going off of what their moms taught them, how they seen their moms do things. Like, you seen that argument about washing your chicken in the sink? Have you seen it?
I have not. How else do people wash their chicken?
Well, it was like a picture of somebody who had some raw chicken sitting in the sink. Like, I'm assuming after they washed it or whatever, and they were about to season it. So they had to sit in the sink. And somebody quoted and was like, I don't care how clean you tell me your sink is. If you do this, you're dirty, or this is disgusting or something. And I was like, you know, that's wild to me, because the way I seen a majority of people living and, you know, wearing your outside clothes on your bed and wearing your shoes into your home where you sit on the floor or whatever the fuck else, and don't, you know, shampoo your carpet weekly. So you can't think walking in your house with outside shoes on is clean. So I'm like, it's weird the things that people call disgusting, when it's like, if anything, my sink might be one of the cleanest places in my house, because for one, why would I think that my sink is dirty if my dishes are clean? You know what I mean? Like, I clean my dishes in that sink, so how is my sink disgusting? Because not only do I clean it, but then I clean out the trap. I pour the baking soda and the vinegar in the in the sink to finish sanitizing and cleaning it, and then I spray out the sink and scrub it with the sponge, and then I probably end up throwing that sponge away after like a week. Like I change out that sponge pretty often. But I'm like, if anything, my sink is very clean. Y'all carpets and bed sprays be dirty.
Yeah, and I was gonna say,
don't quote me because I don't clean chicken. I don't think I ever really have, besides like washing it off, like rinsing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I've never prepared like chicken drumsticks and stuff because I never really cared to touch raw meat. So, you know, how y'all clean y'all food is y'all business. I'm just saying my sink is clean, so there's that on there.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. I remember my mama, like, I think running water over the meat and then putting it on a plate and seasoning it. Yes, she definitely did. And then seasoning it on a plate. But what's interesting about that is, though, and again, I ain't trying to come for the girls, honey, but it's the meat that's making your sink dirty.
Right.
And contagious with things like salmonella. And I was reading this book, and it was just talking about, like, them germs that be coming off meat be so hard to kill. Like, and then you touch one thing and you, so say your sink is clean, right? But the chicken, now that you don't touch the chicken, if you don't rewash your hands before you touch the stove, now those chicken germs are on the stove. And this, that, and the third. I seen
somebody not long ago, and I thought this was a joke. I didn't even know this was real. I seen somebody clean their chicken with bleach. And it wasn't like, a gang of bleach, but it was like, you know, a very diluted amount. But it was bleach nonetheless. And I was like, what? People do this? And the girl was like, now listen, I understand people had, you know, this is a hot topic or the things, but yes, this is how I saw my mama do it, this is how I saw my grandma do it, so this is how I do it. And I was like, I guess it makes sense because it kills the germs, bacteria, larvae, and everything else that's living in dirty ass meat. But why are we eating bleached things? But then I was like, you know what? When did we learn we weren't supposed to be putting bleached tampons in our vaginas? Literally last week, basically. So I'm like, I guess people learn what they learn when they learn. And if grandma been doing it, she's still kicking, I guess you'd be like, well, maybe bleach being so bad for you is a farce. Who the fuck knows? Who knows?
And I heard now, this is what I heard on the streets, that one of these chicken companies that the girls like to eat at bleach their chicken. I heard it on the street, so I say that to say I guess that is a normal thing, but it is quite
like
strange.
I said, don't be judgy if you still buy bleach tampons, which is pretty much anything that is not organic.
Yeah. So like you said, it is weird, but we do that all the time though. We'll draw the line here, and then you look somewhere else and be like, but didn't you just? Yeah, exactly. So things. That was a great icebreaker. I don't know why you were nervous.
It was a long one. Because I don't like people to feel, like I said, I don't like people to feel judged for how they was raised and what they think is normal. Because it's always going to be normal till somebody, I don't know, makes fun of it, right? Or it cringes about it. And you're like, oh shit, is that a problem? Like there's something weird about that? The idea that I'll go through my house with Clorox wipes and clean my light switches and doorknobs weekly. And I'm like, oh yeah, most people don't do that. But to me, I'm like, all the things that you don't touch with your hands, and now you're touching this light switch every day before you go to bed. Then, you know, you're probably touching your face in your sleep. You touching your phone. You doing all this. I'm like, well, no wonder we be sick as fuck because don't nobody really clean. Absolutely. But everybody don't clean how I clean. So I'm like, it's not that I really judge people. It's just definitely different than what I think is clean.
Absolutely. And all the rest of us must be some dirty bum bitches compared to you.
I'm crying.
I ain't never seen. I truly aspire, like dead ass. I'd be like, yo, I wish. But
I'm probably gonna die from being like my body not being used to enough bacteria.
I don't say that.
They're gonna be experiencing one bacteria from one dirty doorknob, and it's gonna take me out.
Let's hope not. But I aspire. Anywho, since we've been here with y'all in this icebreaker for a good 17 minutes and some change. Thank y'all for bearing with us. We're going to move right on into our month in review / look back at it segment. Queen, I have one thing. You have one thing also, right?
I have one-ish too.
Okay, you want to switch? Then?
Let me kick it off. Okay. So, right. First and foremost, I just want to highlight a young man that you guys have probably seen on TikTok, if not Instagram. And he is from North Carolina. He is from the 2-6. Hello. I'm pretty sure that's Vietnam, right? Fayetteville?
I don't know the things.
I'm pretty sure that's Fayetteville. But anyway, he's from North Carolina, and he got real popping on the TikToks and in the Instagrams because he is very young. He's 22 years old. So, of course, during the pandemic, I would say he was, 19 or 20 when the pandemic hit, and basically he couldn't do his job, which was being a barber. So he kind of took to the streets and started doing, street barber work, outside of shops and things like that. And he kind of created this brand for himself where he would go up to at least one stranger every day. Mind you, a haircut, can take anywhere from 30 minutes to like an hour and a half type shit. At least how long I've been in barbershops. So let's just say an hour per person. He takes time every day to go cut at least one person's hair for free. And he'll just go on the street and pick a random person. Could be a kid, could be an old man, could be a young man, could be a homeless person, could be somebody leaving work, could be somebody going to class. And he just sits there and he kind of records them like on TikTok and asks them their story and what they like. And sometimes for the kids, it's about bullying and friendship. For the adults, it's about forgiveness and moving on with your family and stuff. So he's a really dope individual. But beyond him already being dope and having this huge following for listening, like being a good listener and sharing people's stories, which is already, I think, a characteristic more of us could and should have, is listening to people. What this gentleman has accomplished as of recent... He has worked to get the first barber school program in California State Prison history so that inmates can get their barber's license while they are incarcerated so that they can, have jobs jobs while they're in and also jobs when they get out to make money and don't have to be like start from square one and only take minimum wage people that are quote unquote willing to hire ex-convicted people, etc. So at 22 years old, making that kind of mark in the world is like, millions of followers, listening to how dope you are and listening to how you're a good listener and listening to how you go out in the world and give free services to people who may not be able to afford them, or even if they can, it's like maybe they don't have time, or they have the time and they go to get them, but they don't have somebody who can listen to them. It's like to be that kind of empath at 22 years old and create a barber school where convicted peoples can get their licensing so they can make money when they get out of prison. It's just like, damn, it's crazy. Like we have this saying, right, of calling people an old soul or saying, they've been here before. But it's like, if we were all more tapped into our empath sides, we would all have quote unquote been here before. You know what I'm saying? Like we would all be more empathetic and more loving and more giving and more generous and more gracious to people if we move through life with that kind of heart. So shout out to Vic Blends. That is really, really dope, and I'm really, really happy to see that, and can't wait to see what else he does, because if you've already done this at 22, I know that I strongly believe that when you have something, you just become more of whoever you are. So if you're poor but you're a generous person and you make a little money, you're going to be even more of a generous person, and so on and so off. I think that your success is just going to bring out the qualities of you that already exist. So I just wish nothing but the best for him and the best for whatever his visions are for humanity going forward. So shout out to Big Blends. Come on, North Carolina.
Absolutely. That is super dope. Well, thanks, Kid Fury, for kicking us off with a little bit of Black excellence.
I think he's whitish Mexican. I don't fucking know what he is.
Ooh, I didn't even ask. I just assumed they were black.
That's why he wasn't looking back.
You know what? And that makes so much sense. I literally was like, I wonder, I guess you wanted to start the show off with something, positive, since we know we got to talk about some heavy shit. And I was like, I was interested that she didn't put this on black support, but that makes sense now.
Yeah, I think he's
So thank
Hispanic
you for kicking the show off with a little human excellence.
Human excellence. Humans being great, which, you know what? It sounds sad to say, like, we don't see that often. We do. We just don't highlight it often. You know what I mean? Like, because we all know good people. We all know good, generous, kind, loving people. But we highlight the bad shit. We highlight the negative. So, yeah. But anyway, what is yours, Queen, for look back at it?
I'm finna highlight some bad shit.
Oh, you know what? My bad shit is next also. So take it away, Queen. Take us into negative Nancy land.
All right, guys. Well, here we go. As I'm sure you have heard, because it has been all over the internet. It has been all over my YouTube feeds. I've actually been off Instagram, honestly, since it happened, because I was like, in the words of Sister Soldier, I need to take a moment of silence. So trigger warning. Let's all center ourselves. Take a deep breath.
You know what? Matter of fact, let me go ahead and preface. If you listen to our podcast at all, trigger warning for everything, all the time. Because we do have the great things, but we going to have the heavy shit and we going to have the conversations. So go ahead.
Alrighty. So with that being said, Travis Scott had the Astroworld Festival. As of yesterday, it has resulted in 9 fatalities. Several are still hospitalized. And there's just been, I wanted to bring this up on our podcast because Aisha and I had a very good conversation about it off mic. I was about to say off camera, but that's not, off mic. And I felt like it would be dope to have that discourse on our show. Because a lot of people are looking for someone to blame. And I feel like, I don't know if that's human nature or American nature or what, but we got to have a scapegoat, as I heard somebody say who, I watched, cause I've been watching a lot of videos about it. I low-key became obsessed about it because, to speak candidly and honestly, I really couldn't understand why it happened. Right. That was the first thing. I was like, I'm sorry. Because, the ninth person, whose name, her last name is Barty, I think, but I don't want to say the wrong name, but she just passed more recently. But when the news first came out, like the next day, which I think I remember seeing it the next day when I first learned about everything that had happened, I was like, how are 8 people dead? Like, unfortunately, and just to show you where we live, right, I'm like, there was not an active shooter, that running for my life, fight or flight, people getting trampled. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that made sense in my head. But I'm like, I'm sorry, people were at a concert, make it make sense. So we saw lots of videos. We've seen lots of things. Mm-hmm. And I personally would like, I guess, to begin by saying that I feel like there are a lot of people who need to be held accountable. And I looked into Travis Scott's history. And it was giving, and it's very unfortunate, but it was giving it was bound to happen at one point or another, because I feel like when someone has been arrested for his kind of behavior before, it was only going to have to escalate to get him to, I feel like, slow down. And we've seen people jump off balconies, we've seen him tell people, jump off the balcony, and they do it. So then we get groupthink as an aspect of this, right? And celebrity worship too, right? Because why in the world would you know what I mean? Just any random person, jump off that balcony. Don't get me wrong. Because even just now, I'm thinking about a time where I was really, really drunk on a bus. So alcohol is definitely important, and drugs are definitely important. And we understand that definitely happens at festivals and concerts and things. But I can definitely remember being on a bus one time. My friend of mine was like, do a backflip. And I literally did the backflip. So I get that. Mm-hmm. But he's being sued by a fan who allegedly got pushed off a balcony because allegedly he also told people to jump, to push, to do things. He definitely riles his crowds up. And so I think because when you and I first had this conversation, and the same thing with me and Khalil, we began to have this conversation. I felt like y'all hadn't looked into his background the way that I had. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like it was kind of like, oh no, I don't see why, everybody is blaming him and that kind of thing. And I'm like, well, see, for me, I think it's because, that, like I said, the history, right? It's seeing the promo videos of people bum rushing and running over people and flooding, and jumping over or whatever, the barricades and stuff, and him telling people to like ignore security. And that was one of the reasons why he got arrested before. He's been arrested, I think it was 2017 and 2015 when he was arrested. Like I said, one time of which we're saying like basically F security. Do it anyway. So they call it raging or whatever. And so essentially, going back to some of the facts or whatever is, and people were going like minute by minute what was happening, and they were saying that like 30 minutes before he came on, that's when people started to compress. So the crowd compressed, people suffocated, people passed out, and people got trampled on. And I was just like, I just had so many questions. Like I said, one of them was like, why is this fun? Like, why would something like that be something we would want to do, right? Because if people, like even Travis Scott at one point in the concert, which I'm sure now him knowing things, fully regrets saying like, y'all know what y'all came for. Because at the time, and I've read so many statements and them saying like, oh, he didn't know. And that was one of the things I did want to bring up. Like I said, and I'll stop here so we can, like I said, participate in some conversation about it. But like, at first I was like, oh my God, that's so crazy. But then I was like, but you know what? I have been on a stage before in a little middle school, nothing like the lights he would have at his shows. And you can't see the audience. Mm-hmm. And then I was listening to someone who's really into music. He does music reviews and things like that on YouTube. He was saying like, yeah, them headphones that they're wearing, you can't hear anything either. And so I'm like, that's why I like, like I said, this will be the last thing I say for now. Like, that's why I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of people. Like, one of the things like I said, a lot of people need to be held accountable, because one of the things I read was that, and of course, everybody's going to try to cover everybody's butt. So all we can do is go based off of what people are saying right now until we have evidence otherwise. But a spokesperson for him was saying that like it never reached Travis or anybody in his crew that it was declared a mass casualty event 30 minutes before he left the stage. And that's insane. Like, I think, and I've never, blessingly, if you will, I've never been in a situation like this before, but I can only imagine how long 30 minutes feels. when you're in this kind of environment or any kind of environment that like this, you know what I'm saying? So my heart definitely goes out to everybody. Not just everybody, you know, of course the families of those who passed away, but the people who have been traumatized by this, because I can only imagine, like, even if it's something as simple as I'll never go to another concert again. Like, I hate that especially if it's something you enjoy, right? Like, and I think that's why this was so crazy to me, because I'm like, people went to have a good time and died and got traumatized. But so yeah, like I said, I'll stop there for now. I'll definitely love to hear your thoughts on everything so far.
Festivals and festival culture, I feel like is already very dangerous, whereas it's supposed to be, you know, a good time, a fun time, etc. But I think that, for one, we should not have been at the level. I mean, there's so many people to blame, I feel like, in this. And beyond blame, I, you know, first want to say, wow, like, my heart just goes out to everybody involved, everybody who witnessed it, everybody who had a friend or family or loved one there, everyone who's going to need some post-trauma therapy, you know, from this event. It's so many hands that could have potentially stopped this. You know what I mean? It's a global pandemic. Why are we even having festivals?
50,000 people.
It's just so much. It's like, it could have been way less people. Definitely could and should have been marked off and blocked off aisles for that if and when, inevitably, in a festival, especially being outside, if and when somebody does pass out, because it happens, people are doing drugs, people are drinking, people can't leave their spot because they're afraid they're, you know, going to lose their position. So they're standing there not eating, not drinking for hours and hours and hours, and all of these things. It's like, so many things could have been avoided. And there's this rock star element. There's this, this is, you know, this hero, this person I look up to, this celebrity, all of these things that can absolutely and probably were very influential to why people were mosh pitting in the things. It's just like, there's just so many ways I feel like this could have been prevented. And it's like, I don't even care to harp on it per se on an individual, because I feel like everyone who could have probably prevented it is probably like, hindsight, obviously 2020, like, what the fuck? I played a part in people being killed, people being literally trampled and suffocated to death, which is what I think of every year on, like, Black Friday and stuff, which is why I'm always team do your shopping from the computer, because when I see people getting trampled to death over a fucking TV, I'm like, people are, when they're in concerts or where they have an excitement about something, people are in literal trances. And it's like, you know, or you felt that you just ran over a human body and you did not care. You still ran to your TV. You still ran to the stage. You still ran to the mosh pit. You did all of these things anyway. So it's just like, I don't know. I struggle with it because I'm like, I think going to a festival one day would be fun. But then every time I look at all the elements of a festival, I'm like, hot, outside, in the same place for hours, can't eat, can't drink, because otherwise I'll have to wear a diaper. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these things make it so less appetizing to me, no matter who the celebrity is. Like, I would have loved to have been at Beachella. But thinking about the fact that if Beyonce went on at, I don't know, 6 p.m., I would have to be at the stage at 6 a.m. Doesn't entice me. It just doesn't. Yeah. It just does not. It's so unhealthy because you cannot, especially when it's 50,000 people, make sure that all these people have been fed, have drank, you know, people are also doing drugs and everything else. So it's like, or tired and sleep deprived and all these other things. It's like, damn, like, I just hate that this festival even happened, because why? There just wasn't a good reason for it. And especially to the numbers that it was. Yeah.
And, I think that the best thing that we can hope for in any case is that people are changed, right? And so and change for the better. I mean, like, there have been so many conversations that I've seen around, like literally what you just said. There should have been aisles. There should have been access. Well, we're not even gonna get into the pandemic, right? So let's just put that aside, because it happened regardless of there being a pandemic. 50,000 people. There should, like, you know, like, and then that's why I think people are so angry with Travis, is because he was warned, you know what I'm saying, before the concert started. The chief of police said he met with Travis and his security and talked to him about safety concerns he already had, right? There are people that were saying, like, you know, the concert should have been stopped when people stormed those gates. And I'm like, and again, of course, like you just said, it's all about hindsight, right? Because we can even go back to 2015, like the first time he was arrested, and probably before that, right? Because again, we unfortunately know that these things just, it's like, if you don't get in trouble for it and you're into, quote unquote, let's say bad things or things that cause harm or whatever, it's just gonna get worse, right? Because before, you know, maybe at first it was, oh, you know, let's rage, you know, because like, and I'm hearing people say that in these mosh pits, people are losing teeth, breaking arms, breaking legs, and it's like, what? So then the next thing you know is, oh, jump out the balcony. The next thing you know is, you know, y'all know what y'all came for. Let's get the music going, and yada yada yada. You know, people screaming for their lives. And like I said, now we can argue back and forth all day about whether he heard it or not, but I'm like, so many people enabled him to be who he was the day this concert happened. For him to see an ambulance in the audience, right? Because, and I think, you know, going back again to why, like, I had been so upset about it, and I guess, you know, so quote unquote upset with him and everybody else who will remain nameless and faceless, who enabled him, is that you've been warned about safety concerns. We already know who this guy is, and we're still letting him perform, letting him have even bigger and bigger and bigger audiences. Now there's an ambulance in the stadium, right? And like I said, I've seen Travis in videos tell his fans to beat other fans up. So when people are like, oh, he couldn't have did anything, well, it's like, well, you can tell people to be violent. You can't tell them to get out the way, or at least try. Like, whether you can move or not, you know what I'm saying? It's the fact that, oh, let's just move on. Let's get this music going. And I think something that you and I talked about was this idea that, like, I just feel like we're really disconnected from each other. And I think that was why this hit me so hard, because I'm just like, yo, I just feel like I lose more and more faith in humanity every time something like this happens, because I'm like, why don't we care more about each other, that if the person next to you passes out, you're not like, wait a minute, you're not affected. It's, oh, I spent $500 on this ticket, I'm gonna enjoy this concert, to hell with you. And I think that's what's so unfortunate about it, right? Because it's like you said, people are in a trance, people are on drugs and things like that, and drunk and things like that. And so, and like I said, I try not to hold people too accountable, at least in my own life, when I think they do something that I'm like, yeah, they were drunk. They might not have done that if they were sober. I've definitely done things drunk that I know I would not have done sober, just because I really be that out of it. So I definitely get that too. So yeah, I just hope that people are held accountable. Like I said, and even thinking about the 4 agreements, right? Like, I'm not even in the mood of, I want you to suffer over and over and over again. No, I want you to just do better in the future. So whether that means this dude can't perform again, because it means people get their lives saved, because unfortunately the sad part about it is that we could see 9 people lose their lives at a Travis Scott concert, and there will still be a gang of people ready to go to another one. Like, changes to be damned, you know what I mean? So I'm like, at some point or another, because it's what I think about police, right? And because then that's the thing, like, again, just because of who he is and knowing his history, they increased the security presence by 3 times. Like, like from the first, I think they said, concert or festival that he did. And so I'm like, and it still wasn't enough. 570 security agents, and they couldn't stop them people from breaking down that fence and running in, right? And then like, going back to that, like, again, we know there's extra people here, we know how this guy gets down, let's try to figure some shit out. So yeah, I think it's like you said, it's very sad. It's very scary. I think that's another reason why it was so unsettling. It's like, damn, which I guess we do every day. We all go out the house to have a good time, and we think we're going to come back. And that's, unfortunately, that's not how it works out. But I don't know why. This just hit me in a weird way. I literally was in my bed crying about it. I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And I think, again, you know, like, it's on top of being a pandemic. It was on top of seeing people buy all that damn tissue that they didn't need. And it was on top of seeing people beating up people on planes because they got asked to wear a mask. And, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's what it is, that it just seems like it's just shit on more shit on more shit, and harm and harm and harm. And so, yeah, I definitely just, I just hope that things happen that need to happen to prevent this from happening again. And I hate it, because you have one incident like this and it changes things forever. And maybe this is one of the things that needs to be changed, right? But I'm just like, damn, like, you should be able to go to a concert and just think about having fun. It shouldn't be security check this. We got enough guards. And then there was another thing. This is the last thing I'm going to say. Another thing I saw was that they were hiring security through text and social media. So the people they hired didn't even know what they was doing. And so that's why it's like, yo, this was like doomed from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so it's like, yeah, somebody got to be held accountable for this shit. So I don't know if that's going to be monetary returns. Like I said, I hope it's more so, again, I hope people get whatever they need to heal and things. Also, I hope that, because I couldn't find Travis Scott paying for the mental health services. Like you said, I did see that they said he was going to pay for the funeral services. So I hope that whoever involved can do that, because I know people are going to need it for sure. And then also, like I said, I just hope things change so this don't happen again.
Yeah.
Feel that.
So traumatic and very sad, and we're not done, so buckle up, people. Here we go.
If we're gonna have a better ending. You're gonna be happy.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we always end y'all on a good note. Always.
You know, that's right.
But we got to talk about what's in front of us. So next that's in front of us, and I put this out and look back at it because I want to talk about the culture of it as a whole. But obviously, when you hear what I'm about to talk about, you're going to understand that there are very, very, very extreme racist elements to what we're about to talk about. So there is a white bully bitch on the internet whose video just went viral. She's 14 years old, so let's start there. Her name is Jalen Crooks. Her, along with, I believe it was her sister, but only one of them's like faces in the camera. But they're talking there are two white girls talking about a dark skinned classmate of theirs. Oh. Talking about how they would hate if they were as dark as her, how they would literally kill themselves, and how about next time she attempts to kill herself, she does it right this time, and she is the N-word, and everybody knows everyone hates N-words, and blah, blah, blah. I think the video I watched was 2 minutes long or something of all of that terribleness. Wow,
I'm sorry for you, my friend.
Yeah, I was sad to have even watched it, but I was even sadder to know that not only is this a 14-year-old girl and probably another fellow 14-year-old girl whose face is not in the camera, but his audio can be heard. Thinking about being in high school and thinking about if 3 people thought or assumed a rumor of me, it just felt like my world was burning. Because in high school, especially at 14 years old, you've only been on the planet for 14 years. So 5 minutes of your life feels like an eternity, a week, a month. When you've been in a relationship for 6 months at 14 years old, you've been in a relationship your whole life. That's how you feel. Everything is way more monumental. So to think a 14-year-old, I don't know what happened behind the scenes, what led to it, etc. But this girl is seen on camera, and it's like, you know how people like, you know, they get angry and they say really fucked up shit. This girl is laughing throughout this whole video about all this awful shit her and her sister are saying to this classmate of theirs. And I had to just pump the brakes. I was like, I have to get quiet somewhere. I have to sit down because this makes me want to wring the neck of a 14-year-old who unfortunately has learned this behavior from someone. And I'm not saying that this is how her parents talk or anything, but also it's kind of like she's learned this from somewhere. And even if she didn't learn how to speak this way, she's learned that maybe there's not consequences for it or that it's a bad thing because she does it with just such ease and smiling and laughter. And the video literally made me want to cry because I just imagined being this 14-year-old girl. I'm assuming going to a white school just because the girls were white, but it's not really relevant. But it's like being told I would kill myself if I was as dark as you, and next time you try to kill yourself, do it better because apparently, according to this young lady's sister, the victim was or has attempted suicide before.
Wow.
And so the sister saw the video in her, I think, younger sister's phone and was like, absolutely the fuck not, and blasted the girls on social media, which I feel like you have to be careful with those kinds of things too, because then you're blasting the trauma that this person has experienced. But I think, I guess when you're an older sister, you're just trying to do the right thing to protect your sibling or your loved one. But I was just like, I just can't even imagine, because celebrities were reposting this, like obviously to, you know, condemn the little white girl, Jalen Crooks is her name, to condemn her. But it's like, even in condemning her, you're highlighting this very traumatic thing that happened to me. And now millions of people, like I think about in high school, if 5 people knew something, I'm dying. For her, it's like now millions of people have seen how this girl has talked to me and made fun of my dark skin or made fun of me being black and made fun of my attempted suicide and my mental health issues and all these things. It's like, God damn, girl, like I can't imagine what level of high school bullying or disagreement or discourse could make you say something like that to another human being. So in my look back at it, beyond race, because I've seen people of all races, right, be extremely heinous towards each other because they're kids and they quote unquote don't know any better. You know it's wrong. And you do it because you know it's wrong. And you do it because you don't think that consequences can happen to you at the time, which is why you're filming this, you know, in the dark, and you're laughing, you're trying to kind of like whisper, talk it. Maybe you don't want your parents to hear, or whoever else is in the house, or whatever that you're doing. You know what you're doing is hateful and disgusting. And I just wanted to have a conversation about humanity and empathy and what does it take to reinstate it in the world? Because I don't want to pretend like I've been the 27-year-old version of Aisha forever. I know I have said hurtful, mean things to people. And I'm just trying to think, like, what is it in your brain and in your mind and in your heart that makes you think, well, let's just see, for example, that they were in an argument or they were fighting over a boy or fighting over clothes or whatever the fuck, and somebody hurt somebody's feelings, so they come back with that. It's like, well, what makes you think mocking someone's attempted suicide or something they cannot change, like the color of their skin, what makes you think that that's okay? Right. As a kid? Because I feel like I've been there, maybe not to those degrees, but I've been there definitely making fun of, because my intent was to hurt them, right? Like, when people be like, oh, you know, they cursed me out in the argument, yeah, their intent was to hurt you. So it's like, what do you expect from people when that is their intent? They're not trying to read you for filth eloquently. They're trying to hurt your feelings. Right. But I'm like, what in the world would make someone talk like that? Because I know, and again, I'm not perfect, but I know I would not have told someone to kill themselves. My God, what is going on? And I just want to know, like, is this an individual thing? Is this a thing where social media has made people think, oh, if I say it on the internet, it's not really real. I didn't go and say it to her face. You know what I mean? Like, what is that? What is that, and where is that behavior learned from or taught? Or
I don't know.
Can you even teach empathy? Can you?
I hope so. And I think that's what's interesting about our education system, right? I've been having a lot of conversations about that. Of course, probably a lot post, beginning to read in my own personal life / like on purpose, if that makes sense, and with purpose. And I had a conversation about that recently. I gave a book for 4 Agreements to a friend, and she was just like, imagine how different our lives would have been if we was reading stuff like this in high school as opposed to the nonsense that they had us reading. Correct. And I remember watching something once, I think it was a movie, but you know what, I think it was Bad Moms with Mila Kunis, which I really like, I think. And she just made a statement in the movie, and she was like, why are we teaching our kids, yada, 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 why aren't we teaching them how to be decent human beings and this, that, and the third? And I was like, yeah, why isn't that a thing? Like, why isn't, hey, colorism, problematic, don't do that. And let me not even use the word problematic, harmful. Racism, harmful. Homophobia, harmful. Xenophobia, harmful. Let's have a whole class on all that. You know what I'm saying? It's like Tupac said way back in the day when he was just a youngin', like, there should be a class on apartheid. There should be a class on racism. There's a class on drugs in America, but we got classes on gym. And don't get me wrong, right? Like, it was funny when he said it. We need gym too. We need to exercise. We have a obesity and overweight problem in our country, right? We're not moving our bodies. We have a movement problem in this country. And so that's important too. But back to, with the question you asked, it's like, I think you can. Carter G. Woodson, and I will say that based off of what I've read so far, but he talked about how it's very hard to change racial formations and the older a person gets. So we need to be teaching these things like elementary school type thing. And so, yeah, I think we definitely should have that in the curriculum. And it's like you said, it's crazy that, this is what this girl wanted to spend her time doing, right? And it's like you said, it's literally like, to me, this is all the same shit. Like, all of it comes back to a question about where is the humanity? Where is the empathy, right? It was the same thing with the concert. And so it's like, yeah, I think you can, because we to whatever extent that we have empathy, you and I, we learned it from somewhere. But again, because
it makes me literally think about, we just talked about Vic Blends and what he's doing. Right? The empath that he must have as a person who's 22 years old, and maybe he has family members, friends he can relate to, but it's like, well, he's not incarcerated, so why is this important to him? And it's like, this is the type of empath that he has. Then we look at this young lady from Prior Lake High School, whatever the fuck, I don't even know where that is, but we look at her and we're like, well, where the fuck did you learn this, and why the fuck do you think this is okay? And where is your empath? Do you have it? If you see someone getting beat up, if you see a dog being ran over, are you gonna cry? Like, do you not have empathy at all? Does it turn off and on? Who taught Vic this, and who taught you, Jalen, this? Like, are you learning this behavior, or are these things that are innately in you that can't really be taught? You can be taught how to speak to someone respectfully, but can you be taught to respect someone?
I think you can. Like I said, and I think that's why I want to do film so badly, because I think about when people say things like, I was listening to the director for Light Girls and Dark Girls, and he said that it wasn't cool to be a dark skinned dude until Eddie Murphy and Sidney Poitier and actors like that made it cool. And so it's the same thing with the visibility of trans people now, right? Like, we have shows like Orange is the New Black. and we have shows like Pose, which which was a history making TV show. And we have movies like not movies. It was a documentary. I can't remember the name of it now, but it's on Netflix, and it was about the representation of trans people in film historically. And I think when you see things like that, and of course, I think that's a scary part, at least is for the trans experiences, according to what I heard in the documentary, is that with visibility also comes like almost like a greater threat. But I think when you change those things, right, because we know that there are so many things we're not going to learn in school. And I think the rest of it is really about TV. I remember taking an ethnocultural psych class at ECU, and we were reading about this black woman that had went on a date with a man from another country. And she was trying to figure out why he was treating her so poorly throughout the date. And in some kind of way, she finds out that his only representation of black women was what he had seen on American reality TV shows. And so it goes to show you how important this is, right? And so if we're not teaching it in schools, which we definitely should be, we definitely should be putting it in our films and stuff. That's why it's a big thing for me. Like, I'm always like, okay, casting dark-skinned girls, casting girls who wear their natural hair, right? Because I remember seeing Taraji, I think she hosted a show and she had her natural hair out, or I think it was her hosting a show, not her being in a show or in a movie. And I remember literally, about to like being kind of like my eyes like welled up, because I was like, oh my God, I can't remember a time where I've seen black women with like a certain hair texture wear their hair out, right? Like, I think even when I think about Girlfriends as ahead of its time, I guess you could say, as that show was, the only women on that show that wore their natural hair were the mixed girls.
Right.
Tony and Maya always had on.
Didn't Tony try to at one point?
Maybe she did, and maybe I missed it.
I think there was an episode about her trying to, and I don't remember if it was her not liking it or if other people didn't like it. I can't remember.
Oh, okay. Which would be.
There was definitely an episode about Tony wearing her natural hair for show.
Oh, okay. I need to rewatch it because which is crazy that I missed. Like, that it doesn't stick out to
me.
But
yeah. I mean, what you say still stands. I mean,
yeah.
The whole point is that the beauty and the acceptable part was them doing that already. And when Tony did it, there was a conversation about it.
Yeah, so we know that these things. It's the same thing when we think about Black Panther, right? Like, why do people go see Black Panther 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times? Because we're not used to seeing ourselves like that. I'm in the theater watching Black Panther for the first time, literally like, oh my God, my eyes are welling up. Just at the part where all they did was go into Wakanda. And he's like, oh, this is my favorite part. And I'm literally like, oh my God, this is, yes, this is amazing. I think movies are super important. I think movies, TV, film, the medium. I think music is important, right? I think it's all the stuff that we ingest. So I think if we can shift those things, and like you said, I think we can teach these things. But it's got to be, I think it would help a lot if it's early, just based off what I've read of Carter G. Woodson, right? I would have a lot more to read to have a sound answer to that question. But I like to think that we can, but I think that's because, again, I try to believe in a world. I think I believe in a world where I think that what we want is within reach. And we're just not willing to do those things that would make it possible. But that's because there are people who are dedicated to keeping things the way they are because of their own comforts that aren't going to let it happen. And those people just happen to have power, right? Like, last thing I'll say on this is that, like, I remember, I think it was Boosie and Lil Nas X or something. And I was like, I am so exhausted. Like, I'm tired. And I didn't want to post anything. And I posted anyway. And someone reached out to me and was like, thank you for posting this because it is exhausting. And I thought to myself, I'm like, I'm sad that I'm even exhausted because it seems like the people that are dedicated to making the world a worse place never get tired. Yeah. It is like they have an unlimited fuel supply while I'm over here like, if Boosie says one more thing about Lil Nas X, I'm going to cry my eyes out and my soul is going to leave my body. You know what I'm saying? But meanwhile, Boosie is never tired. You know what I mean? Just to use him as an example. But I say that to say, I guess, we rest up as much as you can and keep having conversations like this and people who are doing the work, supporting those people and things. Because I think we definitely got to change the system of education for sure, though. And like I said, the stuff we consume in general, I think. But I definitely think that anything we want is within reach. So if we want people to be more empathetic and more understanding, we can just teach those things, even if it's not teaching empathy, but it's like, because I think we talk at length about the idea that when you leave people out of the system of education, whether it be Black people or the LGBTQ community or women, you inadvertently or on purpose teach people that there was nothing to be taught about these people. They have not contributed to our society in any major way, right? Clearly only these white men did. And so I think even just changing that, even just making Black history mandatory, making LGBTQ studies mandatory, and Hispanic studies and Asian studies and all those things, making those things mandatory would go to say, oh, these people are important. Right? Like, I don't even think you should be able to be a doctor. Say you a male gynecologist. You need to have taken women's studies.
Absolutely.
Are you a white doctor treating Black patients? You need to have taken African American studies. Asian patients, you need to take, you know what I'm saying? Period.
Are you a person teaching, leading, guiding anything? Because if your demographic is open to everyone, that means your education should have also been open to everyone.
Absolutely.
Period.
Like
women, I feel like women doctors, you should be well versed in men. Mm-hmm. Male doctors should be well versed in women. White doctors should be well versed in Black women, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, if this your demographic is, hey, I'm willing to take everybody money, then you need to be willing to have everybody's education, everybody's perspective on everything. Teachers, doctors, whoever.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. Because, and you know, it's true, because we have things like, you know, when the doctors had to come out in the pandemic and say that racism is a public health issue and we got to work on that. What the fuck? Like, you can't even go to the doctor without being scared. So, yeah. And I'll leave it at that. I know, again, we're running long, but yeah, I definitely think you can teach empathy, even if it's not on purpose. It would just be by having a very inclusive system of education and an inclusive media that we ingest. So, yeah.
All right. Well, moving on, Blank While Black. Queen, do you have one for us today?
I do not. Take it away for us.
All right. Well, I reckon here we go.
All right.
So, Coi Leray has been dating this human person.
Okay.
This human person and Coi Leray have been basically made a little fun of. People poke a little fun because the person that she dates, generally speaking, looks like a stud. She dates a young man, but he's quote unquote so pretty that people think he's a girl. So they're like, oh, Coi Leray is a lesbian. She dates a, whatever. So this week, I think last week she posted that she was single, and then this week she posted, back making out with him or whatever, and then made a tweet that said, damn, and you know what, I should have saved that one too, but it was something to the effect of, y'all are just mad, my man is so beautiful, he is Filipino, and he's got that long, beautiful Asian hair, and blah, 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 he's so fine. Right, I should have saved that one too, but I forgot. But it came back to my attention, because I was like, this is stupid, but I'm going to move on.
Right.
It came back to my attention because then her boyfriend took to the World Wide Web and said,
oh, God,
niggas be like, I'm black. No, nigga, you built like a motherfucking Nigerian. Americans, wait. Oh, wait, that was only one of the tweets. Americans got no culture, and their biggest culture is hip-hop. Motherfuckers don't even know what island they from. They just black like the color. So this person is, I feel like it was Filipino and Haitian? I don't remember exactly, but I think it's Filipino and Haitian. But either way, obviously a superior black by the way he's talking.
Obviously.
And it was just like, damn, it's just so many wrongs in this. I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
Because what are you talking about? First and foremost, Mr. Pressa, which is his name, Pressa. You are in the worldwide America, and you are making hip hop music, which is black culture. Which is Black American culture at that. Black American culture is very deep, it's very wide, and it's very rich. And maybe we don't know the origins of the islands or the country. And the fact that he said we don't know what island we're from, like you can only be from an island, that's it. Like you can't be from a whole other continent or anything else. Or a native to America is, again, many, many parts to pick apart here. But just the fact that you don't know where your greats migrated from, because white supremacy, which
Right.
should not be the joke, especially as a black man. White supremacy should not be the joke that you want to rub in other black people's faces. Because first and foremost, whether you are Caribbean or Haitian, whatever the fuck, if you're black in America, you're black. So therefore, saying, oh, you guys are just black, you guys don't have shit, you are also, quote unquote, just black here in America. Because guess what? Racism is just about calling somebody their color. That's what it is. So again, talking about, oh, Americans don't got no culture. The biggest culture is hip hop. Well, sweet pea, that is the culture in America that you are a part of. Being black, being in America, and making hip hop. So saying we don't have any culture and then that's the only culture you have is this. But that's the only culture that you're making money from then, if that's what you're talking about. Because you're making money from this from this American black culture. So, So this is one of those things where it's like, this is an issue with, something this individual said, but this is an issue overall. Why, as other black people, because race and quote unquote your culture and ethnicity are different things, but why is you as a fellow black in America dissing black Americans? Girl, what? And again, for being said black. What?
Yeah, I'm on his Instagram page right now, and it is definitely giving American black boy, American hip hopper, if you will.
And that's what and then I'm like, if you look at your quote unquote culture, are your family okay with you making rap and wearing chains and designer this and that? Because a lot of other cultures and a lot of other black cultures don't like that black American culture. And it's like, okay, you don't like that black American culture, and people in your culture don't like it, but you're making money off of it here in America. So what is it? Do you like it or not? Do we have it or not? Because black people absolutely have culture. What is culture? It's the significant, attachments to a race, to a people, to a region, all of those things. So even if you don't like it, white people have culture. White Americans have culture. Maybe they don't have their roots to their Irish culture, their Polish culture, because of their own quote unquote diasporas, their own moving around because of persecution and wanting better for themselves or whatever, their great grands and etc. did it. Culture it just exists, period. And it doesn't have to be Caribbean culture, it doesn't have to be any other African culture. But I'm like, not only did you diss black Americans, but then you also diss Nigerians.
Yeah, in 2020 that man,
I was like, sir, how are we dissing black American culture for not having culture, but then you also diss us by saying we're built like Nigerians, which means what? You're dissing Nigerians too, which would also be rich black culture?
Yeah, he definitely gave African booty scratcher in 2021 with that Nigerian comment, and sorry, that's played out. Let's start there. Secondly, and everybody knows that I am not normally a fan of rap. I am not normally a fan of the rap culture. But say that to say, I still realize that people really do not give, when we talk about giving flowers, people do not give the flowers that they need, that are deserved to the black community for creating a culture out of nothing. When we're talking
of nothing, robbed of language, robbed of religion, robbed of culture, music, art, family, everything, nigga. What?
And so yes, I will talk shit about soul food because it be killing us, but we invented that shit. Like even like down to, I've heard people say like even the way that we speak, right? Like dropping the R's off things, you know what I'm saying? Different, colloquialisms that only we know and understand, right? Like, that whole joke about the whole woo chile, right? Like the white woman not understanding that that's woo child, you know what I'm saying? And so there's all these things that we share that we created. Ta-Nehisi Coates, one of my favorite quotes from his Between the World and Me, is that they made us they made us a race, we made ourselves a people.
And you ever see those? I mean, everyone has seen them, but have you ever seen the post of like, damn, we really all had the same childhood? Because they be like, y'all remember this blanket? Y'all remember this cup? Y'all remember this? Like, what are you talking about? We don't have culture, baby boy, and you're profiting off of black American culture. What the fuck are you talking about? And it made me reference back to, well, for one, he dating a black woman, but I'm like, even that black woman talking about some, y'all mad because my man is pretty and he got that good Asian hair, that pretty Asian hair. Like, how do you know the Asian part of him, quote unquote, is what made him pretty? Also, there are black Asians.
Okay.
So it's all of these things that be like, if you just don't like being black, just say that. If you don't like America, you could just say that. But also, then just go back to the greater country that you're from the person or from the culture that is so much better than black culture, and make money from your culture. Then that makes more sense to me. Like, if you hate black culture so much and you want to diss them and say black Americans are trash and they're lazy and they make bad everything and they don't have great music and blah blah, then why are you making money from it? Right. Because you also like it and you also benefit from being a black American in a hip hop space.
Okay, I know that's right. And so it's definitely the featureism and the texturism for me. It's not surprising at all. We know how that goes, right? Just do better, bro. Do better. Because everything you said was hella offensive and I don't stand beside it.
At all. And then again, yeah, going to Koi too, it's like, girl, not if people say your man is so pretty he look like a lesbian, I would just be like, thanks, and keep it pushing.
Yeah,
I don't have to talk about the texture of his hair,
yeah,
to prove that my man is a man, or to prove that I think my man is fine. We obviously know that you think your man is fine because you with him, girl. Duh.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, and even then, like, you talking texture, but it's like all I see him in is braided black braided styles, if you will. So I'm like, I get it. I definitely get it. It's just, I guess, again, it just be like, bro, are we ever gonna do any better? Because I think that's what's scary, is that we are literally having the same freaking conversations that people was having in the 70s. And of course, way probably before that too, but let's just jump back 50 years. We was having arguments about whether to straighten our hair or to wear it, you know what I'm saying, quote unquote nappy, to wear it as an afro, right? Like, it being a whole situation that Angela Davis had the audacity to wear her afro in the courtroom instead of, pressing her hair to be more palatable, to be more presentable, quote unquote, right? We're still having arguments about, because I was having this conversation with somebody recently, and I was like, yeah, it's like we're growing, but then not at the same time, right? Like, now we're all pro black hair, but now it's pro black hair, but certain hair textures. And it's like, nah, let's just be pro black hair. Let's just be, if it grows from your scalp, that's fire. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And also, like you said, don't diss the culture, period. But damn sure don't diss the culture if you're profiting from the culture.
And then, this is a little bit off, but people were coming for Cardi and all that stuff, talking about her hair and her texture and all that, and not taking care of it, or taking care of it or whatever, and talking about your hair is only growing because you have good hair or whatever. As I guess some of the responses that she got was that you have good hair, and it's just like, she was like, oh, basically this is my hair pictures throughout the years. This is, I didn't know how to take care of it. It was broken and dry and short and all these things. And let's stop saying that somebody has good hair or bad hair. If it grows from your scalp, it is good hair. Please. Maybe it's good hair that is dry, or maybe it's good hair that has split ends, but it's just hair. Like, there's no texture better than any other.
I know that's right. I mean, say that for the people in the back, because that's all I want y'all to realize. Like, there's no way that saying, quote unquote, you have good hair is a compliment. Like, that has always made me uncomfortable. Like, I've always been like, I don't understand the difference between my hair and your hair, when people used to tell me that growing up. And then even with that being said, right, like, and we've had this conversation before off mic, and so I'm gonna say this real quick, as I know we got to move on again, but I just really be saying to myself, like, so I guess I'll tell a quick story. This girl, she insulted my hair in middle school. She called my hair nappy, and because I had grown up with every adult around me, probably every other kid around me, right? Because unfortunately, we already done started, fucking injecting that shit in our kids' brains by what we say over and over and over again. Had already told me, you got good hair, you got good hair, you got good hair. So when she said it, I was like, bitch, please. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could never. Mm-hmm. But not because she didn't have good hair, but I was like, you could never make me feel unconfident about this thing, because I had so much armor when it came to this thing. And so that makes me think all the time, like, imagine if all little black girls, little black boys had this armor. If every day everybody around them was telling them their hair texture was fire, their skin complexion was beautiful, their skin as it is, their teeth as they are, everything about you is beautiful, you fire, God made you, and you don't got to put a paintbrush on or whatever J. Cole said, you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, what? Everybody should have that. Like, again, what kind of world would we be living in if we changed these things that we do? Just changing everybody being confident in their natural features. What kind of world would we be living in? So, yeah, That's all I wanted to say.
I agree, 1,000,000,000%. Moving the fuck on. Do you have a say what now?
I do not, but I do have a. Cause I am on this podcast. I am also a host of this podcast. I do have a expectations for us though. So
okay, well, just real quick, my say what now is a quick one. It's a quick one. It's nothing that's got to be drawn out. I just want to talk to these people over at the Harby's restaurant. Mm-hmm. Arby's has the gallbladder to come out in the Lord's 2021 with a French fry flavored vodka.
Oh no.
That you may received in curly or crinkle. I don't even know what the fuck that means. But I do still want to say it's blasphemy.
Wait, a vodka flavored fry or a fry flavored vodka?
Of
You okay?
Damn. French fry flavored vodka. Spirits.
By Arby's?
Offering spirits. Yes, by Arby's.
I am dead.
So my say what now is Arby's. You are supposed to be making the roast beef and the delicious fries, not the vodka, girl. And I understand that this panini press has caused a lot of people to become entrepreneurs and try new avenues of income. But you need to keep your greasy French fry hands off of vodka because it did nothing to you.
I know that's right.
And that's it. Mm-hmm. And that's it. That's all I had to say.
Alrighty, y'all. Well, now that I'm back on this podcast, we move into Sexpectations. Yes, on this here 50th episode of The Living Room.
Episode.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's pause for the cause. Come on, 50 episodes.
Right. Wow.
Who the fuck do we think we are? Y'all know that, like, I forgot the exact ratio, but it was something like 90% of podcasts never make it past episode 7.
Wow.
Who in the black fuck do we think we are?
I know that's right. Wow, I'm proud of us then. We done did that many-fold. I can't even count. You know what I'm saying?
Many-fold. And maybe we don't always get the things out when we're supposed to, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the quantity.
I know that's
because
right.
You know what? The quantity that we have is quality. When people say, oh, cool, you have a podcast, what episode should I listen to until I get the feel for, like, your show in general? I say any of them. They're all a good black the fuck time.
I know that's right. Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. Well, Aisha, for this 50th episode and our 50th Sexpectation segment, I have one question for you.
Jesus, okay.
Do you remember?
Oh, God.
When you found your clitoris?
Maybe not.
But you know what's funny though? Like, I'm reading this book, and one of the things they talked about was infantile sexuality.
I was gonna say, I think I was a very hypersexual child, so I think I knew a lot more than I was supposed to.
Okay.
But I also don't know when other kids learn things.
Right, absolutely, facts, because we don't have these conversations.
Because my Barbies and my Bratz dolls were definitely fucking.
Right on. I don't know. I can't remember if mine were or weren't. I'm sure they probably were. So
like, I knew when my dolls was kissing, and I knew when it was time for them hoes to fuck, and I definitely made them hoes fuck.
The dolls? I thought you said dogs for a second. Okay. That's better.
No, dolls. I know when my Barbies and my Bratz dolls were fucking. Like, I would make them kiss all the time, but I'm like, now, listen, you came to my house and you know what it's time to do, Cynthia. Now get undressed.
Cynthia from the Rugrats?
That was just the first name that came to my mind.
Because I need her to stay clothed with that hair. That's too much. We don't hair shame.
Wait, pause. Have you ever seen Cynthia brand new? There was like an episode where they show when she got Cynthia. Cynthia has been through the fucking ringer, my nigga. I'm
gonna look it up.
She was like a regular Barbie when she first got her.
I'm gonna look it up. Oh my God. Oh God.
Yeah, she was a regular Barbie dog.
Oh, yeah.
And now she's
the before and after. Too much for me.
Now she's a ragamuffin.
I am dead. Oh, that was a good laugh excuse me, I am alive. That is a good laugh that I needed.
Oh man.
Woo, okay. So say that to say, I think we discovered our clitorises when we were babies, because they be talking about how babies be touching themselves because they know it feel good. Now, I don't know if that, because my friend was like, "Oh, is that for the little boys?" Because you know, y'all thing on the outside, our thing on the inside. Well, we got outside parts too, but that thing is hidden.
Some people got big old clits, so some people might be on the outside too.
Some people, yeah, with less clitoral hood. You know what I'm saying? Because all vaginas are welcome, all vulvas are welcome. They're all beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, so I guess some of us was out here. You know what I'm saying? We knew what a bean was, as Aisha would call it.
I think I knew where the bean was for a long time.
Okay. That was all I had. Because I literally was just like thinking about it. Like I said, I think we definitely probably come into the world knowing. Because it just reminded me when Halle Berry was talking about
how some of us come into the world knowing, because these men still don't.
And you know what? I was watching this. A friend of mine recommended this show called Sex, Love, and Goop. Have you watched that on Netflix?
Senina, I have not.
So you didn't watch Sweetie's sex show either? You disappoint me. But you don't like sex?
Okay. No, I do, but I don't be watching Netflixes about the sex.
I feel that.
I'll be watching them hoes scissor on my Pornhub.
Okay. Wonderful. I was watching Sex, Love, and Goop, and this lady, she was on the red table talk. Did you see the red table talk that had Gwyneth Paltrow on it, or are you behind?
I'm behind.
Oh, okay. So the lady who came on there with Gwyneth Paltrow, her name is Jaya. I think her name is Jaya, and she's a somatic sex situation. Like she's like, there's different people have different sexual sensuality. Like there's, different things will turn different people on. Some people are energetic, and you don't even got to touch them, and they can have orgasm type thing. You could just be in their energetic aura field. She had an orgasm with her husband, and he didn't even touch her. Wow. I think they both came, honestly, cool. And they didn't even touch you. Well, they at one point or another they were touching, because they were kind of like in like what's the word, like you when you're kind of like when you're in sitting Indian style, but there's somebody in between. You know what I'm trying to say? Like y'all in embrace.
Oh, okay. So it's in between the legs?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But your legs are like wrapped around, okay. I think, too. So they were like that at one point, and I think that's when they both came. But he definitely, like, she was laying on the table blindfolded, because she's like, I want y'all to know I'm not making this up, which she, of course, could have been. People be acting all the time. But say that to say, if it was real, he didn't even touch her. And so, but she was like, there's different kinds, and then there's sensual, and you need all your senses to be stimulated. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. But anywho, where I was going with that is that she had a vulva puppet, and she was showing the guy. She was like, look at all this clitoris. Like there's legs on your clitoris, and they're like 6 inches long or something like that. And I could be wrong about the numbers. Y'all don't quote me on that. But she was just like, yeah, some people have more clitoral hood and some people don't. And then she was showing, she's like, and some people's lips are more exposed, and some people, the inner lips are more exposed, and some people's aren't. And then sometimes they get more out here when they're aroused. And I was literally thinking to myself, and where I got the idea from was what you said about men not knowing where the clitoris is. I was like, nobody ever taught us this stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, sex education, I felt like it was definitely more, from what I can remember, I definitely felt more anatomical. Like, so this is what you have down between your legs, but not, hey, if you find this little bean thing here, that might make great things happen for your partner. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Same thing with, like, I was watching Sweetie's sex show, and they had a specialist on there, and she was saying, like, yeah, sometimes the men complain that you're a little rough on the penis when you're giving a hand job. Like, y'all got to calm it on down. And I was like, again, nobody ever taught us this stuff. So I was like, yo, you know what we should do as couples? We should go to adult sex education classes. I think that would be so much fun.
Absolutely. I'd be with the shit. Plan that for El Paso.
Okay. I more so went with our partners, but this is fine.
No, my friends are my partners too. Let's have a clip party.
Here we go again, y'all. With you should have got y'all fooled. I ain't into the things. I be minding my business.
What did I say? I said, if y'all having a problem with y'all men's, fuck y'all friends.
And I still say anyway. She is capping. I couldn't even get my words together. She is capping.
That's because I had her shook.
Oh my God. You know what? I'm going to call Lex P for you. No. I'm going to call Drea. There you go.
I'm crying. Drea can get it too.
I bet she could.
Nah, I'm not a rich. You know, I'm a trick, but I'm not a rich enough nigga for Drea. So
I know that's
maybe
right.
Maybe next time, shorty.
I know that's right. But I might have to look into that so we can then come back and talk about it on the podcast. So I would love, because I realized there was a black lady on the Sex, Love, and Goop show. I wish I knew her name. And she was up there with, they had different couples on the show, and one of them was an older couple, and she was standing next to this older white lady, like probably in her 60s maybe, and then she was just talking about, the white lady was talking about her body insecurities, and the black lady disrobes. She's completely naked standing next to this lady talking about like, yeah, my breasts are different now than they were, and they look, and I was just like, yo, this is amazing. Right. Like and first of all, she was a beautiful,
hell yeah, pull them titties out.
She was a beautiful black woman. Beautiful skin. She had a short haircut, full face. I was just like, yes, sis, give me black woman greatness. And I was like, but she's in Atlanta. Now I don't know where Jaya is, but what I was about to say was I would love to meet her. I just liked her energy in general on the show. Like, you know, some people you don't even meet, but there's just something about them that you just like off the rip. That's how I felt about that black lady. So you know what? We might have to go see her in Atlanta because she was lit. We can stand there naked next to each other and admire our bodies and be all lit and shit. And then Jaya can go show us how to have an orgasm without touching. But we might not be energetic though. That might not be our things. But so say that to say, if y'all haven't seen Sex, Love, and Goop on Netflix, it's 6 episodes. It is super dope. It's definitely like, I love shows about this because like I love shows about anything that I didn't learn about in school that can potentially help you to live a better life, right? Like the husband on the show was a black couple who went to see Jaya. He didn't know he was energetic, and this man had an orgasm and was like crying and was still like almost in that space. Like he's fully dressed and he's like, I don't know what happened to me. He's like still wiping tears from his eyes. Like, and she's like, yeah, like this is amazing. Just stay in it. Just stay in this moment. And like, he's like, what do I do with this energy? She's like, just live your best life. And I was like, y'all, he was like, I've never felt anything like that in my life. So what I'm saying to y'all is y'all should watch this show, check it out, because you don't know what you might be missing. You might be out here crying after you find out you energetic. There might be some listeners who don't know where they bean is too. So go find your bean. That's your affirmation for the week. Fuck all that. Go find your bean. We should name this episode "Go Find Your Bean," episode 50. Back like when we first started and we wasn't into the algorithms and shit, and our first episode was called "Pull Up to the Freshly."
I know that's right.
Swiffer Spot.
Go find the bean 50 times. God damn, I'd be exhausted. I got a good expectations. Okay. How many times should you or do you come till you're satisfied?
I just had this conversation with one of our friends. And we were both talking about how like
number. I
was about to get. Why are you like this? This episode is great. This episode was brought to you by Aisha Damali and Sid the Great _ and
Aisha Damali on that McBride Sisters wine.
I was gonna say I be having very strong orgasms, so I be asleep sometimes, and I be like, "Am I a nigga?" Because I thought only niggas be falling asleep after.
Come on, after one or two or 17 or what?
One, I be knocked out. I be asleep, but they be. And you know what's funny? My friend was like, I've never experienced anything like what that guy showed on the show. And I was like, I don't know. I have definitely been crying before. Like, I'd be like, oh my God.
Really?
Yes, tears. Have you never experienced that?
I don't think so.
Oh, sis, we gotta go see Jaya. But I literally be like tears. And I think,
I am weak because I don't even want to. But I imagine Sid flick the bean and then knock the fuck out. So I hope you do that with your door locked, because your poor mother, she does not deserve.
First of all, why you letting it tell you about telling everybody my business?
I'm just saying.
I live with my mama, y'all.
No.
Oh my God.
I thought people already knew that. I'm pretty sure.
Listen, y'all. I bought a vibrator.
Oh, okay. From where?
It's called Love Honey. And you know what? I got so upset with myself.
Okay, Love Honey, sponsor the show.
I got so upset with myself because after I bought it, I was like, damn, I should have bought from Candy or any other black-owned sex store, because I'm sure there are plenty. And I was like, damn, how dare I not look for a black store?
I've heard of a few from the other podcast girls I listen to.
So. Send me the things. But this is the thing. I brought it up to say that I have it. So the lady, I don't know who I was reading, but she was like, leave your sex toys out where people can see them. And I was like, I know that's right. So
maybe when you're in your own home.
Nope.
I don't know if you should.
My vibrator is out in my bathroom.
Did I tell the story that my dad found mine?
No. You want to? It's the 50th. We might as well.
He didn't say anything.
Oh
Thank
my God.
Jesus H. Christ. But no, he definitely found it.
Mm-hmm. Where was it? You
remember? It was in my nightstand. Which,
why was he in there? You're not supposed to go in nobody's nightstand.
No, but to be fair, he was looking for something else, and he found it, and that's how I knew he saw the other things. Because I was like, oh, that was all in the same drawer. So if you found what you actually...
What age were you when this happened? You remember?
Oh, my God. I was like 16, 17.
You had a vibrator at 16?
Hell yeah. Because I swear to God, I did not enjoy sex till I was like... I don't know.
Okay, Suki.
A long time.
Suki
so
Hana.
I was just over here letting men. That sounds like a lot. I was letting my partners be far more satisfied.
It's okay if it was a lot, Lex P.
It's not even that. It's because I said men, and I just said I was 16, 17. That's why.
Oh,
but
okay.
no, I was letting my partners have the fun because I thought that was the right thing to do, and I just didn't even care about what I should be experiencing or feeling. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't even know women were supposed to enjoy sex for real. I thought you were supposed to
excuse me, Lord,
make the man happy type of thing, and then maybe like I would off of head maybe, but not like off of sex. So for me, I was like, oh yeah, sex and head are for men, and then head is for women type shit. I think is how.
Okay.
I don't think I don't think I verbalized it or articulated it or anything. I think that's just what I thought internally. So I'm like, okay, but when I'm by myself, I can do what needs to be done because men can't vibrate.
I know that's right.
I mean, now I know better, but I was like, men can't vibrate, so I need to give me a vibrator. But
where did you get it from? You ordered it online?
You know, I fucking got it from fucking Spencer's or Hot Topic.
Oh, duh. I forgot about that. I
definitely wasn't ordering nothing online at that time. So, yeah, I definitely went into either Spencer's or Hot Topic, one of them hoes, and got me a little black one that had rhinestones at the little handle.
I know that's right.
It was cute.
I know that's right. Cute. Okay, girl, I'm trying to catch up to you. We gotta teach you how to use that thing though if it ain't got you crying.
Okay. Well, you know what? I feel like, I'd be like clink clink. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Gotta shut down. Oh my God, what is this podcast? Let's move on. Do you read any black?
They gonna think you've been drinking wine, but I'm sober. That's the crazy part.
They gonna be like episode 50, huh?
Right. Okay, y'all. So next episode we're gonna go see Jaya.
We told y'all we was gonna end lighter than we started.
I know that's, you know what? I know that's right. And never ever wrong. In my sweetie voice, that's probably not her voice. In my sweetie, shout out to Sweetie. Anywho, I do be reading. We're talking about books now.
Oh, you know what? We on black support. But yes, because I wanted to shout out to a dope ass black ass bookstore I went to on today.
I know that's right.
And that was called Reparations Club.
Ooh,
and I went to a brick and
I know that's right. I'm sorry.
Brick and mortar. It is not only black owned, but it's black woman owned.
Oh, I know that's right.
I ordered a book from them during the pandemic. I think when we did our first giveaway, I might have ordered a book or somewhere around that time. I definitely ordered during the pandemic a book from them, and it came with like a personal note that said basically, thank you so much for supporting my business, woot woot, because I think they had just opened. And I remember thinking, this is why you buy local. Yep. This is why you buy small business. Yep. This is why you do these things, because it is like, I gave you my money, but you gave me an experience, and I appreciate
Jeff Bezos ever wrote y'all a thank you card? I ain't think so.
Not at all. Not ever. Maybe an automated email, but that's it. I got a handwritten letter from the owner of the bookstore, and I got some bookmarks. I got all kinds of free goodies with my order too.
Man, people do not understand the value of shopping small or black small owned. I will never forget. I just wrote a little message when I was really into the Radical pens. Y'all shout out to Radical pens. I just be really into shit sometimes and then I fall off, but I'm sure their pens is still the shit, so check them out. I'm sorry, Radical Dream print pens, I think. And I wrote like a, thank you so much. This is really back when I was really like getting deep into black history books and deep into supporting black businesses and understanding the importance of that. And so I was just like, thank you so much for creating something that allows us to express our ideas and who we are to the world without having, to open our mouths, right? Like all the things we wear say those things about us, or at least they can. And she wrote back like, oh my God, like, just based on some thank you so much. This was so nice. I was just like, I wrote that and really wasn't even thinking that, of course I was hoping she was going to read it, but I wasn't expecting to get a thank you back. And so it was super dope to understand that my words were, acknowledged and that they made this person feel warm. And hopefully, because I'm sure owning any business, period. And as a small business owner, it's not easy. And so I hope that like maybe just for that couple seconds that she read it, or maybe that day or whatever, she felt like the work was worthwhile, if case she was having a moment where that might have loomed for her, you know what I mean? And so say that to say, I 100% agree. I love supporting Black owned businesses, and like we told our friend, we have a friend that went to a non-Black owned bookstore and balled out, and we was like, no sir, when we go to the bookstore to ball out, it has to be Black owned.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise,
don't ever. If y'all know I like bookstores and you offer to take me on a quote unquote date, a get together, offer to take me some Black shit. Because if you offer me some Barnes and Nobles, I'm gonna be sick about it.
What? Listen.
Speaking of which, shout out to the not the most recent episode of Insecure, because I actually missed it, but on one, I think it was the first episode of this season's Insecure. She had SO1 Books, which is another brick and mortar Black owned bookstore here in LA, which I wanted to go to also, but I didn't have time because I had to get back and record the things for you folks. But reparations.club is where you can find them on Instagram.
That's right.
Y'all, it's obviously it's a bookstore, but it's also like a curator in a just a space. They have Wi-Fi, they have couches, right? Y'all, when I say they have sunscreen, that Black owned sunscreen, they have Estelle glass, which is this colored wine glass and glassware set from this Black lady. They have vinyls, they have candles, they have literally a little bit of everything, which is why I love Black owned bookstores. You can find all the Black shit in one spot. You ain't got to go searching. When you see some fire ass candles in there, you just know to go ahead and get them because they Black owned. That's what I fucking love. They had this dope ass jewelry, friend. They had this. It was like the size of like the first half of your finger before the knuckle, you know what I'm saying? It was like Malcolm X rings and stuff.
Wait, what?
Harriet Tubman. Yeah.
Was it by Johnny or something like that? Did you see the name?
I asked the names and he told me, but they weren't like labeled. And so I definitely need to tell them probably to label them. But it was two different artists, and then they had one with like a little, it was gold and it had like a black fist on it. I was like, bro, look on my story. They on there right now.
Okay.
But sorry for the people listening to this, you probably won't be able to see it on my story. But if you check on reparations.club, you can order online. Or if you are in LA, hit me up and we can go on a little datey date together and we can go to Reparations Club because that was so fire. Love a Black bookstore. I'm trying to get jazzy Black Sunflower Co's candles getting sold in there. That's going to be my mission is to make that happen. But when I went in, I talked to Masana and Dev and Kayla who are working that today, and they were just all amazing. They made me feel so comfortable and so welcomed in their beautiful store. It's very, like, I don't know, hipster, artsy, Afro-Hemian type vibe. So, yeah, check that out. That is Black on Black support for me.
I think these rings are the ones by Johnny. Let me see. I'm going to type it in real quick because I follow them on Instagram. Johnny Nelson.
Yeah, it was two
Jewelry.
different ones.
I think that's them.
It was Johnny. Is it John?
Johnny. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could be wrong.
Sorry, people. We have to know because they were very, very fire, very fuego. If I do say so myself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, this is what this was. And yep.
Fire. Because I remember, of course, the Malcolm X.
Oh, they got Buddy. Yes.
I see a Tupac one too. Now I don't know if these are special edition or if they've released. Oh, I see Nipsey. These might be special edition.
Yeah, the ones I saw were Shirley Colson, Sojourner Truth, and Harriet Tubman. And they had the Malcolm X. Those are the ones they had in store when I went, and I just thought they were absolutely beautiful.
Oh yeah, they're amazing. But yeah, everything is Black. I'm gonna have to go back to your story and actually
this one that they have is like a 4-piece ring, which is pretty cool too. Because the ones they had were individuals.
Yeah, they make them so you can get them individual, of course, like on the website and stuff. But they also do make them like you just said, as the full like knuckle ring type. Not knuckle. What do they call those things?
Yeah,
is that what they're called?
Yeah, these are very. I don't even know. They look like brass.
That's what I was trying to say. Yeah, that's why I said knuckle ring. Yeah.
I see a Marcus Garvey. I see a Tupac. I see a Nipsey.
Good times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's for B Mike.
Oh, that's who that was. Who did he did Will Smith's book cover and many other things, of course.
Well, let's circle back because the people can't see what we seeing. But yes, my Black on Black support goes to Black owned brick and mortar bookstores, specifically Reparations Club this week.
Absolutely.
What you got
and
for
speaking
us?
of Will Smith, my Black on Black support goes to Will Smith. I
am weak. Why did you say speaking of Will Smith?
Because
when did we talk about Willard?
I said, you might not have heard me. I said that B Mike did his book cover.
Oh, yeah. Okay, go ahead. Anyway.
So I wanted to shout him out because he has this YouTube series. It's 6 episodes. They release an episode every day. And it was called Best Shape of My Life. And y'all might have saw, like, Will Smith posted the picture of him with, he was saying, like, this is the heaviest and the most out of shape I've ever been. Partly because he had to gain weight to play in the King Richard movie. But then he was saying that with being in quarantine, this is the body. But the thing about Will, and the reason why I'm shouting him out, is because I just feel like he just says so many inspirational and dope things. Like, he was like, but this body got me through quarantine. And I literally, like, in opposite of Will, I lost a lot of weight during the pandemic, and I most recently gained 3 pounds, and I'm super excited about that. I've been meal prepping and exercising and moving my body more and things, and I'm super proud of that. But I say that to say, when he said that, I literally was like, yo, this body at this weight, because if you know me, for the longest time I've been trying to gain weight. I want to be one of the thick girls and the third. So to have gone so far in the opposite direction, I've been very hard on myself. I've been not as kind as I should have been. And so when he said it, I was like, yo, this body got me through quarantine, and it's still getting me through quarantine. And so although it might not look like what I want it to look like, I'm super thankful to it, and I want to show that thanks by moving my body. And so the other thing about the Best Shape of My Life too is that just in general, I love watching people get in shape. I love, like, health and wellness documentary style stuff. Like, even to the extent of, like, watching, like, the behind the scenes of the third Blade installment. And I'm hearing, Ryan Reynolds say they wanted to put 10 pounds of muscle on me in a 2-month period or something like that. And I'm looking at, or listening to, I can't think of her name right now. She's married to, is it Jessica Biel? I think that's her. She's married to Justin Timberlake. She was in
I think so.
Yeah, she was talking about, like, I get up, I do an hour of cardio, I do an hour of weightlifting, and then I go to archery, and then I do boxing, and then I hear, like, Wesley Snipes, and he's like, I move every single day, like, whether it be yoga or it's martial arts or it's whatever, like, I move every day. So I love hearing people talk about that. Like, I really hope, I'm gonna speak this into existence, that somebody, because I DM'd him, you ain't see it though, I guess, but I DM'd Mahershala Ali. So I was like, hey, if you got anybody documenting your transformation, because he's about to play the new Blade. And so I'm like, yo, I already know you're gonna be coming with it, because Wesley Snipes, especially back in those days, was, like, known, I feel like, for being super in shape and being a martial artist and all that stuff. So I'm like, is somebody documenting this? Because I would love to see that kind of stuff. So to see Will do 20 weeks of losing a pound a week and going for getting in the best shape of his life, and then just his transparency and his vulnerability, and the fact that what I love about the Smith family in general is that I feel like they really put therapy at the forefront. I feel like of a lot of what they do. Like, I see Dr. Romani a lot, be at the Red Table Talk. She was on, if I'm not mistaken, I think, she wasn't on screen, but when Will sat down with Janet Hubert, she was off screen for that too. And then she was in Best Shape of My Life. And so I love that they center and show a Black family going to therapy, right? Because we just talked about the importance of media and how it affects us. And so them showing a Black family doing therapy is surely changing some things for a lot of people. I wanted to shout him out for that, because it was super dope. Like I said, y'all can catch it on YouTube. It is a good time. I think Will doing documentary style reality stuff, like whether it be him hosting a show, like he has one coming out in December where he's gonna be climbing mountains and shit on Disney Plus, and I'm super excited for that. So I love seeing him do this kind of stuff. I really thoroughly enjoyed his bucket list show, so I'm always happy to see him doing this kind of stuff, because he's just always saying the most inspirational, dope stuff. However, I have one critique: Willard Smith the second. We gotta get some Black talent behind these lenses, y'all. So,
well, when I meet him, I'm gonna tell him.
So all the girls out there listening too, if you get famous, you know what I'm saying, and you want a videographer, and you need directors and producers and every cinematographers and stuff, try to hire Black talent. We love Black female talent. We love Black male talent. This is just the second show that I've seen that's centered on a Black man, the other one being Shaq. And don't get me wrong, I didn't see everybody, but I just remember, like, seeing a producer and being like, of course it's not a Black person. So with Will's show, I'm seeing the videographer. They're, like, actually showing these people's faces, and they're talking into cameras and things like that. I'm seeing the director. There was another guy, I don't know what his role was, but he was, somewhere involved in the production side of things. And none of them were Black. None of them were women. And I'm just like, we gotta, we gotta hire the girls, honey, because we know film is very, is centered in nepotism. You know what I'm saying? People like even James Laxton, one of my favorite cinematographers, talked about how he got his introduction to set because his mother was a costume designer. And so we know that, you know, we haven't had Black people behind the lens. And so we have to take the extra step to making sure that happens. And shout out to Lex P for saying, like, yeah, I'm gonna definitely try to hire somebody Black. We love hearing that. But yeah, that's my only critique, but definitely check it out, y'all. It's a really good show. And then also, you know, Will Smith got a book that came out. He was reading chapters from the book because he was writing the book at the same time that he was doing the body transformation. And it sounds really, really good. Like I said, I really admire him for his level of vulnerability and transparency for sure. So check out the book. Me and Aisha are planning to read it together. I'm super excited about that.
And guess where I'm buying it, y'all? Reparations Club.
I know, that's right. And so I am super excited to read the book. He had the best marketing campaign of all time. And I don't know why, because like I said, that's actually my favorite part about Will now in this new branding that he's done, I would say, is his like ideas and just hearing the things he said, his approach to parenting and things. And so I'm like, I don't know why I wasn't like jumping, you know what I'm saying, for joy at the thought of him having a book, but I was just kind of like, oh, okay, you know, maybe I'll catch it. But then like with everything that he's been saying as of late and then watching this show, I'm extra like, oh nah, I'm finna read this book. I'm finna read the shit out this book. It's gonna be a good ass time. So yeah, that is my Black on Black support.
Black on Black support. Well, speaking of book of the month, yeah, I am gonna, for real this time, finish the 4 agreements before November is over. I got like a fourth of the way through, so I really got a good chunk, but I just got distracted, busy, whatever. So I'm gonna finish the 4 agreements for the second time. Love that book. So again, it's about practice. It's like if you read the Bible, right? Reading it once wouldn't really suffice to be like, okay, well, I heard it, but now how do I apply? Let me go back and reread and, you know, reaffirm what I believe in or whatever. So again, rereading the 4 agreements, and then when I get my hands on that Will Smith book, I'm gonna crack that whole open.
I know that's right. My book of the month, I am reading a book. Still finishing How Not to Die. Like Aisha just said. I will be done with that. I think I have a conclusion and an appendix left. That is it. That is all I have left to read. So I'm going to get that done hopefully tomorrow. If not tomorrow, Tuesday. Y'all already know I'm reading about them Baudelaires. I'm trying to figure out what happened to the Baudelaire orphans. I just got book 3 in the mail. They're really quick, easy reads. So I'm sure I'll be done with I probably can get done with that this week. And what else am I'm reading like another book about, well, this one so far seems to be more about relationships than it does about sex. I think it maybe goes into sex in a different part of the book or later part of the book, but it's about trauma and recognizing how our attachment styles to our parents have affected how we are in our relationships and things. And so I'm enjoying that. That's why I was reading about the infantile sexuality. You know, I love a good book. I will tell y'all the title of that one later. And then I'm reading something else too, child, but I can't remember. Oh, I'm reading Addicted. It's a book by Zane. Y'all know Zane, Seeking of Sex Expectations.
Come on, Zane.
I have read it before because, you know, they made a movie with Sharon Leal and Boris Kojo and Tyson Beckford. I don't know if you saw it or not. It was an independent film, but it was pretty straight. I'm not gonna lie. But I saw the movie before I read the book. A friend of mine in college let me borrow it, and so I've read it before. But I randomly was just like, I want to read it again because the book was vastly different from the movie. It's like they kind of skipped the backstory in the movie. There's a lot more backstory in the book. But yeah, so I'm reading that too, and so yeah, it's a good month. You know, y'all already know I'm trying to get to 12 books by the end of the year. I think I've got about like 8 or 9, and I'm really getting it in this last 3 months of the year because I was not reading like that. I don't know what I was doing earlier this year because I'm kind of like, why wasn't I reading? So yeah, super excited to be back to reading though. So gonna keep y'all updated on the things. Oh, so you know what? This is the last thing. I told y'all I was gonna give y'all a different sex fact every podcast, and I did it one time.
Okay.
So
Go ahead.
I'm trash. This is a relationship fact, something for y'all to mull over. I was talking to Aisha about this the other day. In that book that I'm reading about relationships, it said that up to 60% of all men cheat, and up to 45% of all women cheat. So I asked y'all, I think we've discussed this before on the podcast, so I'm sure we can come back, maybe do a to be continued. But we got to talk about monogamous relationships, y'all. We got to talk about it. If the statistics are correct, you know, we got to talk about some things. But yeah, that's my relationship / sex fact of the week.
Okay.
All right.
Well, Well, yeah, we'll circle on back. With that being said, mental health, do you have anything to give the people? Because I'm just gonna, have my affirmation and keep it pushing.
I'm reading this book. Reading another book. Godly. I'm reading this book about happiness, and it's talking about our social circles. And just something, again, I wanted to just bring into something that might, help us with our happiness, with our mental health and things like that, or being social with the people that we love, right? They were talking about this guy. I think they mentioned 2 people in the book that socialize for 6 hours a day. Now, I don't know how that worked. I have to keep y'all posted on it. But for mental health check-in, if you ain't tried it before, you can try it now. You can socialize some and see how you feel. Spend time with the ones you love. So they would say. So David Buettner would say. That's the author of the book. So yeah, that is my mental health check-in. We're going to keep it pushing because we are at 1 hour and 43 minutes, and we know how we love y'all, but y'all be crying about our lens.
Absolutely. Okay, well, moving on up. I'm just going to end y'all with my affirmation, my personal one, and it was just, affirmations, right, to affirm. And I just want to affirm that I have friends that feed my spirit, and I have gratitude for them.
I know that's right.
That is it.
I would like to affirm that I will be comfortable with being vulnerable and authentically myself.
Tell the people how you feel.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I appreciate that. This is a good ass episode. I'm about to cry. Episode 50.
Yeah, it came with that energy. We laughed, we were sad, honey, but we came back around. We cried.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
On that Will Smith shit. He's like, I bled all over this book. We bled all over the beginning of this episode, and then we soaked it back up through our vaginas.
Oh my. Oh my.
That's why I can't watch sex shows. I'm done.
Absolutely.
I'm done.
Well, thank y'all for being around for 50 fucking episodes. That is so crazy. And we want y'all to know to keep your ears to the streets, y'all.
Yep.
We have some live. We have live episodes for y'all. We have giveaways.
We know y'all love some free
goodies.
Shit.
Partner with the girls that we love. So, with that being said, let us know what y'all have thought about our 50th episode, what you've thought about our show so far.
Yes, right.
As we get into this holiday season, I'm sure schedules will change and whatnot, but always just let us know when you listen, tag us, share it with your friends, listen while you're getting your hair cut or your hair braided, because that's 6 hours of content you could be sharing.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, we thank y'all, we love y'all. Come on, Big 5-0, we over the hill.
Absolutely, way over the hill, honey. At 7, look at us. I had no idea. Thank y'all, as Aisha said, for joining us for 50 episodes. Thank y'all for holding tight with us through our mental health breaks. We prioritize that on this Good Here podcast and this Good Here living room.
Hello, and not only have we done it, we will do it.
I know that's right. So thank you for coming back time and time again. And we love y'all. We are thankful to y'all. We will love you even more if you rate us right now while you're listening to our podcast.
We'll love you even more if you comment in our comments that you love us and happy 50th.
Absolutely. Tell us happy 50th in the DMs, on the living room page, all over the place. Thank y'all.
Hell, Cash App, Zelle,
you can Cash App us $50 or 50 cents. Honestly, I'll take what I can get. But also, whatever you Cash App up,
if your heart sees to
whatever you Cash App us, make sure you cover that instant fee.
Oh my God, I'm gonna make a whole episode about that because I cannot stand when a nigga don't eat the fee.
I know that's right. And so, with that being said, y'all, this has been 1 hour and probably around 44 minutes, and we love the number 4, don't we? Thank y'all. I have been Sid the Great. We will see y'all episode 51. We're gonna see y'all where we see y'all for our 50th episode celebration. As Aisha said, keep your ears and your eyes open because we got things to give you because we know you love free shit and we got things to say and we're finna be out here. Thank y'all. Love y'all.
That's right. And I have been Aisha Damali, and what I tell y'all earlier, find the bean. Bye, y'all.
I remember we were just kids, lost in the city. I wish I could remember you. Can I mention you? Find my love again, my love again. Find my love again, my love again. Find my love again. sorry if I messed you up. You look a little better since it's been no us. I ain't see a ring, so the dude just what? Someone for the code, well okay, so what? Saw you at the club, you were giving on looks, damn Angie. Goes for a year, now I'm back with a plan B. Still call me daddy, no plan B. Being that the past is the past, maybe we should start planning. Oh, for the future, I was better at the Karma Sutra. Dressing, see how this karma gon' suit you. You left me, I was trying to get myself together, you left it. All in the bed, we were focused on the sex thing. Just kids in the city, but the town so empty. When we left, when we came to a cease. We left when we came to a